John Cena has officially announced that he will be retiring from the WWE, and I'm both happy and also incredibly sad. I'm sad, obviously, if you can't tell from my shirt, that I'm a massive John Cena fan. John Cena grew to prominence in the WWE when I was just 11 years old. That means that I had the rare and unique opportunity to watch my favorite WWE superstar rise through the ranks when I was a kid to my teen years and into adulthood. But I am happy about this retirement because that means that John Cena is going to get to go out on his own terms when he's fully able-bodied and sound of mind. I won't have to see my childhood hero be a decrepit version of themselves at 70 years old trying to clamor for one more match. So, since we know when John Cena is going to be retiring, which is at the end of 2025, I figured I would come up with a list of people that I desperately want to see John Cena have one last dance against. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm confident that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And before you ask, it's like 5 a.m. in the morning when I'm recording this because I have a really early flight. That's why I'm tired. I'm not sick. I'm okay, just before there's any concerns in the comments. All right, let's jump into it. This list is going to be full of familiar foes as well as new faces. And for John Cena, there really is no more familiar foe from the 2010s than CM Punk. These guys had so many fantastic, amazing matches, feuds, back and forths on the mic. This is one of my favorite feuds in the history of the WWE. And CM Punk has come back to the WWE. What a rare treat. It's like Halley's Comet. We had John Cena announce his retirement on the same 12-month span that CM Punk decided to come back from the WWE after a 10-year hiatus. It is destiny that these guys have to dance under the moonlight one more time. And CM Punk has already said that he wants to have one more go at John Cena, and I see no reason why we shouldn't give the new generation of fans this feud that they missed out on 10 plus years ago when we had the fantastic Money in the Bank between Cena and Punk, where Punk left the company. There's so many things that they can re-explore and introduce the new generation of WWE fans to, while also catering to the older generation of wrestling fans that just know how good these two guys are in the ring. John Cena, when it comes to facing guys like Punk, he elevates his game to be able to go toe-to-toe with guys that are just better than him in the mat. And he does it with Punk so effortlessly. These guys can have a 5-star match in their sleep. I desperately want to see one more dance between these two, and I would love it for it to be in Chicago if possible. I'm telling you, it is a match made in heaven. These things that haven't been part of the WWE now all of a sudden are, and also John Cena is retiring. It's like the universe is telling us that we need to revisit this again. We need John Cena versus the final boss, The Rock. We got a glimpse of it at WrestleMania 40, and everyone marked the hell out for it just for the face-off that they had and the rock bottom that The Rock hit. The reason why we need this, aside from this being another dream match, thrice in a lifetime, which by the way, it's my dream match and I've gotten it twice. I would love to get it 3 times, but we would also need to get this because every time that they faced off, it was a weird babyface dynamic. Just two babyfaces that didn't like each other. But now we can get a proper babyface John Cena against the worst of the worst, The Rock. I don't see how you guys couldn't want this. This to me is picture perfect. It is tailor-made. It may as well be handed on a silver plate. It's just too perfect to pass up on. If we're looking at trying to set up the next generation of megastars in the WWE, we gotta look at Logan Paul. Logan Paul and John Cena is also a match made in heaven. The two guys can absolutely cut fantastic promos. Logan Paul has a bit of a tendency of cutting down people to the point where it's so difficult for them to recover. But guess what? So does John Cena, and John Cena is much, much better at it. Ask poor Austin Theory, who still hasn't been able to recover from the mic ass whooping that John Cena laid into him going into WrestleMania 39. I feel like this would be a mic matchup made in heaven, but it's also just the perfect type of match for John Cena because he gets to go up against an incredible incredibly athletic guy that could open up an arsenal of moves for John Cena that might not be possible otherwise. On top of that, man, the mainstream appeal of this match would absolutely just be through the roof. Logan Paul being one of the most popular people to come out of social media in the past decade, and John Cena being, of course, the mainstay that he is in the world of Hollywood and, of course, professional wrestling. People would absolutely drool at the thought of this match. I want to bring things full circle in this final run of John Cena as well. I want John Cena to have a matchup against Sami Zayn. An unannounced matchup, dare I say. Sami Zayn puts up the Intercontinental Championship in an open challenge, and John Cena comes out, much like John Cena had his US Open Challenge and gave Sami Zayn his first ever main roster match and introduced him to the world of the main roster fan base. I think this would be a beautiful come full circle moment between John Cena and Sami Zayn's career. I wouldn't hate it if John Cena won the Intercontinental Championship in this match as well, making John Cena a Grand Slam champion. Look, to me, this checks off the box of Intercontinental Champion while giving us a good match, while also giving us a nice poetic full circle moment between Sami Zayn and John Cena's career. This is cheating, but this is 2 for the price of 1. But somehow, some way, we need to re-explore either a tag team or a feud with the Miz and R Truth. These guys have been doing homages to John Cena over the past year with the AA, the 5-knuckle shuffle, but these guys were also at one point John Cena's biggest arch rivals, The Miz being in the top 5 of John Cena's arch nemesis throughout his entire career, and R Truth having that run in 2011 against John Cena, and of course when they teamed up to take on The Rock and John Cena at Survivor Series 2011. So there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of hilarious hijinks that you can explore as well between John Cena and R Truth. R Truth being labeled as John Cena's biggest fan, that John Cena was his childhood hero. So they need to explore this in a storyline properly. Again, whether it's teaming up or feuding against one another, I don't really know how or what we should go with here, but I like both of them. These next 3 are really cut from the same cloth, so I'll go through these quickly. These are the guys that people are looking forward to being the next flag bearers for the WWE, and if you are looking at being the next flag bearer of the WWE, I think you should have a feud with WWE's most famous flag bearer in John Cena. That is the trilogy that he should have against the NXT call-ups of Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov. All 3 of these guys would desperately benefit from a feud against John Cena, and again would help cement the next generation of WWE superstars. John Cena doing, one last favor for the next generation of WWE superstars on his way out. I don't think that he needs to beat all of them. I don't think that he needs to lose to all of them, but I would like a good feud between Cena and all 3 of these guys at some point or another during the next year and a half. We've talked about dancing in the moonlight again, and dude, give me the 4th iteration of John Cena versus AJ Styles. John Cena's best matches in the WWE, quality-wise, were against AJ Styles. And what's crazy is that AJ Styles' best matches, you could argue, were with John Cena. So when people say Cena can't wrestle, just remember, it takes 2 to tango, but we need to revisit this. Right now, AJ Styles is doing some of the best work of his career, both character-wise as well as in-ring. Look at the amazing matches that he's recently had with Cody Rhodes at both Clash at the Castle and King and Queen of the... No, that wasn't King and Queen of the Ring. Clash at the Castle and Backlash. Sorry, getting my PLEs mixed up. This is what happens when we have this many PLEs back to back to back. They start to sort of just meld into one another. But we need to revisit this because this is one of the best feuds of the 2010s. We know that they're going to give us a fantastic match. And if you're looking to be poetic, of course, this is one of John Cena's most famous feuds of the 2010s. We gotta knock on the door of this one more time before John Cena says goodbye.
Oh my God!
My God!
Do you hear the music?
I do! He's literally making a pizza! To this day, it's still infuriating how this ended. This is crazy. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I told you don't go to that table.
Folks, that was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, which is available exclusively on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, you're going to be getting Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22. A match involving a guy that makes pizza during his matches. The Undertaker versus Kurt Angle at No Way Out 2006. CM Punk versus John Cena at Raw 1000. And the famous Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest at Backlash 2023. You get all of this, including the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days early, the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, and more. So if you want all of that extra value, all of those videos that we simply cannot show on YouTube, come on over to patreon.com/SantiZap. I'll put the link in the description, or it'll be the link in the pinned comment. Come check it out. Even try just for 1 month. I'm confident that you're going to fall in love with it. Back to the video. Not only do I think that John Cena's final farewell tour should knock on the door of past feuds and new ones, but I think he should knock on the door of new brands that he hasn't competed in as well. I think that we need to look at John Cena doing a tiny little micro run down in NXT. And if we're looking at who he should face off against in NXT, or maybe team up against, I really don't know what kind of dynamic we should have here, but it should be some sort of involvement between John Cena and the current flag bearer of NXT in Trick Williams. There's history here as well, with Trick Williams asking for John Cena's advice prior to going after the NXT World Championship, where he had this feud with Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. There was a conversation between Trick Williams and John Cena, and on screen, Trick Williams has credited that conversation as to why he was able to kick it up to another gear and reach the levels that he did. I would love John Cena to have one 2-3 week run in NXT and rub shoulders with Trick Williams in a match, in a tag team, in some way, shape, or form. All right, for this next one, you gotta just hear me out for a second. This really all depends on how crazy John Cena wants to be and how generous John Cena wants to be, not just to the WWE, but to the business of professional wrestling as a whole. Right now, there's something really fun going on in the world of professional wrestling between NXT and TNA. Folks, I am talking about Joe Hendry. If John Cena is willing in his final run to dip his toes in the forbidden run and not only give NXT the John Cena rub, but give TNA, and in the process, all of professional wrestling, the John Cena rub, and having John Cena versus Joe Hendry, that would be astronomically amazing, and that would be such a great, beautiful gift from John Cena to this beautiful sport of professional wrestling, if he's willing to help grow and elevate a brand outside of the world of the WWE. Yes, of course, we know that NXT and TNA are intertwined right now, and who knows how deep that partnership will eventually run, but I think that this would just be so beautiful. On top of that, the virality of Joe Hendry versus John Cena might legitimately give the WWE social media team their most viewed and liked posts across all social media platforms. This thing would go absolutely wildfire on the internet if it were to happen. John Cena should be out here also allowing people to have their redemptions. And right now, there is no guy on a bigger redemption tour than Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin, my goodness, transformed himself in NXT and completely saved his WWE career. He got recalled up to the main roster. He's doing this thing right now with Legado del Fantasma, Apollo Crews as well. So he's treading water right now, but there is no taking away from the fact that this man completely retooled and reshaped his WWE career. And I think that John Cena should let him showcase this new version of Baron Corbin to the wider WWE universe in a very high profile match, mini micro feud against John Cena. We've seen Cena and Baron Corbin in the past. Let's not forget when Baron Corbin was Mr. Money in the Bank. It was because of Cena that he wasn't able to beat Jinder Mahal of all people. So there is a story right there that we can tell, that it was John Cena's presence that really derailed Baron Corbin's career right from the onset. I feel like it writes itself, and it gives, again, Baron Corbin that opportunity to reintroduce himself to the wider world with a huge marquee feud with Cena. Gunther, Duh. Like, if there is a quintessential John Cena type heel that Cena has to overcome the odds, he has to go full hustle, loyalty, respect, go full rise above the hate, never give up, it's Gunther. Gunther is the type of villain that John Cena thrived against in the Ruthless Aggression era and in the 2010s, but he's the best version of all of them. He is a far better Rusev. He is a far better version of all of those guys that Cena had feuds against in the WWE, where Cena got to be raw, America the beautiful type of John Cena. So I want to see this against Gunther. I want to see Gunther win, to clarify, but this to me would be just money left on the table if we don't visit the idea of Gunther versus Cena. With how good he has been, it would be criminal to not let McIntyre have a crack at John Cena. With how good he's been on social media, elevating feuds with his mic skills, with his social media presence, they're calling him the best keyboard warrior in WWE history. It would be criminal to not explore this between Cena and McIntyre. And McIntyre is one of those megastars right now in the WWE that's in their prime that never really got a crack at Cena when he was in his prime. So to let prime Drew McIntyre have a chance at John Cena, although be it not prime John Cena, I think would be so good for McIntyre's current run as a top level guy in the WWE. You want to get really poetic and you want to talk about the land of opportunity that John Cena's final run could be? Let's give Cedric Alexander an opportunity against John Cena, most likely in an open challenge scenario. Look, this is also a callback. I like my poetic nature of some of these matches. I like the fact that there's a little bit of a trail of crumbs that you can connect between Cena and Cedric Alexander, because it was Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali that left Cena bewildered at WrestleMania 34 when he was watching from the audience. So Cena, to pluck out a guy from obscurity that's getting no chances because Cena knows, hey, I've seen you. I know how good that you are. You've just not been given the opportunity to showcase how good that you are. Cedric, step in the ring with me and let's show the world what you're all about, because I know what I saw at WrestleMania 34, and what I saw is the best in-ring performer in the WWE today that no one knows about. Let's dance. That's it. That's all you need. This doesn't need to be a drawn-out feud. It just needs to be a match, and this could be a match that could be the biggest lifeline to Cedric Alexander's WWE career. Look, we've seen Cena take on Eddie Guerrero. We've seen him take on Rey Mysterio, so he's taken on both as daddies, so it's time to take on the son in Dirty Dominic Mysterio. You could honestly include all of the Judgment Day here. I think shenanigans and hijinks between Cena, Carlito, Damian Priest, of course, everyone from the Judgment Day. Some interactions between Cena and Rhea Ripley would be great. But to me, the mouth-watering feud here is Cena versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. This thing would just be so good. I would love the idea of Cena and Rey Mysterio teaming up to beating the piss out of Dominic Mysterio. I gotta see this. This would be so cool for Cena to be able to say that he took on both Mysterios, both generations, before he ended his career. We've talked about intertwined careers, and look, you'd have to look no further than the legacy of John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, a legacy that gave us 2 WrestleMania matches and my favorite WrestleMania match of the last 10 years in the Firefly Funhouse. So there is so much to explore here. Of course, we don't have Bray Wyatt anymore, unfortunately, but the legacy of Bray Wyatt is still around. And I think it would be so cool to have the legacy of Bray Wyatt continue to haunt John Cena. John Cena can never get away from Bray Wyatt. So let's have the Wyatt 6 go after Cena. This could be a long drawn out feud. If we want one of those lengthy feuds for Cena that could take the span of 1 or 2 PLEs during this final run, it's the Wyatt 6, because there's so many people here that he could interact with, so many great matches that he could have. I know that the immediate concern is like, Cena would bury them. I get you, and I get it, because look, let's face it, that's basically what he did to the Wyatt family at WrestleMania 30, but this is a different era that we're talking about. This isn't the John Cena that needs to be positioned as the top guy in the company. Cena eating losses here wouldn't be the craziest thing, but we need to explore the legacy of Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, the Wyatt 6 against John Cena one more time. The next 3 guys are the guys that I have at the top of the list as the guys that should retire John Cena. First, I have Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes and John Cena don't don't have a heck of a lot of history when it comes to their time in the WWE because their primes are so separated from one another. Prime Cena and Prime Cody Rhodes never met with one another. However, part of the reason why I'm leaning towards Cody Rhodes being one of the ones to put down John Cena to be his last match is because I hearken back to something like Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, where you didn't need a young guy to be the guy to retire Ric Flair because the burden of being the guy that retired Ric Flair is so big to be able to give that to like a 20-something-year-old guy. So you give it to a guy that is a proven performer, that is a guy that is already at the top of the mountain so that he could take that burden. And that's Cody Rhodes right now, in my opinion. That's the guy that's at the top of the mountain in the WWE. That is the guy that will carry the John Cena torch moving forward for the next half a decade at the very least. So to me, it's a simple decision. You don't have to get that crazy and poetic with it to try and look for connections in their past. It's just the top guy in the company against the guy that used to be the top guy in the company. They can have their "I'm sorry, I love you" moment, probably. The guy that's second place in terms of who should retire him, in my opinion, is Kevin Owens. John Cena introduced Kevin Owens to the world of the main roster and introduced him in such an emphatic fashion by having Kevin Owens completely annihilate him upon his first introduction to the main roster and had him lose to Kevin Owens as well in his first match against him, which is insane. An NXT Kevin Owens beat John Cena. I think that this could be a very poetic final dance for John Cena. John Cena's final match against the guy that he introduced to the world of the WWE, and he loses to him again. I think it's just so perfect. And Kevin Owens, to me, like, in terms of everything that he embodies, he's such a perfect individual to carry the legacy of being the guy that retired John Cena, because he wouldn't brag about it. He would just be thankful that Cena gave him both opportunities, the opportunity to be introduced by Cena and the opportunity to say goodbye to Cena. It's beautiful. Duh, you already knew this. Randy Orton, I don't think that I need to really spend too much time here. Like, this is the parallel careers, right? Cena, Orton, Cena. We need this match to happen in some way, shape, or form. I think it should be Cena's last match, but I also think it would warrant having this be John Cena's final WrestleMania match as well, because we never got John Cena versus Randy Orton in a one-on-one environment at WrestleMania, which is crazy to think about. They were in a triple threat match, but that doesn't count, unfortunately. Give us one-on-one Cena versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and if not that, then have Randy Orton be the one to put down John Cena. And look, if you want to do it, you could, it's sad to think about, but you could reintroduce the legend killer. And there's no bigger legend for Randy to kill than John freaking Cena. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sad about it, but hey, don't be sad that it's over. Just be happy that you were part of the journey. But that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.